Welcome back to VL Speaks with You. Thank you for joining me. This is episode 22. And as I mentioned in the last video that I posted, this is going to be about gratitude. I know it may seem a little cliche that I'm talking about gratitude in November because of Thanksgiving and all, but really this is also about the time of year. This is the time of the culmination of harvest. And this is a phase of life. It's it's a these are the bookends of the year, right? One of them anyway. I feel not just December. I really feel like there's a huge shift that happens after all of the fall color comes into bloom as this spectacular natural firework, and then the leaves die off and the trees start to go into hibernation and all of the bulbs go into hibernation. Although we have some stuff that's reblooming because we're having such interesting weather. I also think it's amazing because this year went so fast. And they say that as you age, especially after 40, things start to speed up. And I would say that is true. They also tend to get a little bit sweeter as you mature and find your footing and start to realize that once you're past your 30s, oh wow, don't know everything. There's so much more to learn. And one of the biggest things to really learn on a deep level is the concept of gratitude and being content with every good thing that is present. And sometimes the not so great things, you know, being thankful for something not coming through for you that you were really attached to having happen, but realize, you know what, probably dodged a bullet. You might have dodged numerous bullets by not getting that. But you've got a lot of other things to write down in your journal and say thank you for and count your blessings. I don't know about you, but I've found that when I start getting on that roll of gratitude, which is every day, I find more and more things, simple little things, that bring joy and a little sense of glee, and awe as well. There's a lot of that happens. Like, not just awe, but like, oh, wow. That, yeah. So those are the things. Those are just the beginning, the building blocks of what gratitude can look like. On another level, being grateful for the fact that, like, you were born. I touched on this in the last episode as well. Like, you're here, which is pretty miraculous to have a birth, to be born into a life. And the bookends of life are birth and death. So everything in between is really important. And as time goes on, as the decades roll on, you realize I've got a lot less in front of me than I do behind me. So now what? Well, you got a life. And then valuing that life and valuing yourself, loving yourself. I'm not talking about an egotistical, narcissistic kind of love. I'm talking about that deep appreciation of that divinity that resides deep within each of us and how it translates out into the world, which also makes you value yourself in a very different way and your time in a different way. How you spend that time, who you spend that time with. I will give you myself as an example because it's the best thing that I know and it's the thing that I know most. For well over a decade now, I've had two parents that we knew were going to be very ill. Also, we're kind of amazed that they're still here. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful. And that's another story about living life and how we live it and how that affects everything around us, including the people that we love. But watching this evolve over time or devolve, whatever you want to say, from the time that it became clear that this was a real thing for both of these people, and now coming to this point, the appreciation for life has multiplied in more ways than I can enumerate right now. We don't have time for that. But it does make one think, how much do you really love yourself? And how much do you really value the life and the time that you have? And who are you spending that time and that life with? And is it the best use of your time? And are these relationships healthy? And is there reciprocity? And what are the wonderful things to appreciate about those people that are in your life? Even the ones that you may not be around anymore, that you can look back and say, that was a good experience. This person, this was an excellent relationship to show me these things about life and these things about myself that needed to be addressed. Very grateful for that experience. And also what happens in this process of reviewing your life and figuring out how you want to spend the rest of it and what you want to do with it, you also get the opportunity to just forgive and let go of things that are just like a grudge that you might be holding for a long time. And you're like, what the heck am I doing holding on to this? Is this really helping anybody in any way? No, forgive. Let it go. Even if you didn't get to say anything to them about it, even if they never apologized to you, doesn't matter. Forgive yourself for holding the grudge and just forgive that other person and let it go. Move on because life is fleeting. And these past few weeks, I was thinking about, well, what am I going to talk about in this gratitude? I knew that this was what I wanted to talk about. I wrote that down at the beginning of the year. I made a whole timeline of topics that were going to be addressed through this year. And I'm super grateful that I did that because it gave me a template to work with. But these past 2 weeks, I've really been thinking a lot like, what does that mean? What does gratitude mean? You know, I've read about it a ton, read quotes about it, post them up all the time on Instagram, and thinking, what does that mean personally to me? How does that translate in the big picture? And this is the way that it translates. Loving yourself also means that you forgive yourself and you forgive others. And loving yourself is a way of valuing yourself and being thankful for this opportunity to be here. And then go through, journal. Like I said, it's a huge part of the journaling process. Write down the most mundane things that you're thankful for, that you take for granted every day. Because we do it, right? We take for granted that there's electricity, that you can go to a store and buy food, that there's running water, that you can drive your car without being hassled or mugged when you're just driving down the street, right? That you have clean beaches to go and swim in the summer, that there's quasi good air still around these parts, that you get to take a shower, that the water is hot when you take a shower. Those little things, that you can find things that are out of season that are being grown somewhere else. You know what I mean? That you have a choice of which market you want to go to or what bodega you want to go to. They have bodegas here. Well, in New York, not so much in other places, but deli, whatever, that you can get whatever kind of food you want, especially in the Northeast, from wherever it is, from whatever culture or country it may come from. These are little things, but they're big things. And all those little things add up. And you'll find yourself writing down things that you want to get done, knowing that there's still some stuff that you want to achieve in life, but you're grateful that you got this far, that you're maturing, that you're becoming wiser with time, not just intellectually smart and having a bunch of information in your head that you can spew which you think makes you look smart, but actually intelligence, wisdom. These are the basic fundamental building blocks. And then share that gratitude with the people that are around you. Let them know that they're valued. If you're in relationships with people, whatever kind of relationships they are. If you don't want to be in them, then get out of them. But if you want to maintain a healthy relationship or build on the relationships, let people know how much you value them and how that you think they're great, or that they brighten your day, or that you enjoy the sound of their voice. You know, be real about it. Be sincere. You don't have to dig that deep to find things to be thankful for. And then you'll find yourself complaining less. Because believe it or not, complaining just attracts more of what it is that you don't want. How about them apples? So that's just the beginning of gratitude, really. It's the fundamentals, it's the ABCs. And it's good to constantly have them in your toolkit, your life toolkit, empirically speaking. Alrighty. So I hope you've enjoyed this little episode. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, if that's what you're going to celebrate, or just every day, just make a Thanksgiving every day, every day. Alrighty. Thank you. Ciao.